Hi, I'm Jay Gruenke from The Balanced Runner, and I've been helping runners from beginner to Olympian improve their form and performance since 2003. And I'm here today with another stuck at home running form tip. This one is about how not to carry water when you run. So there are some actually pretty significant mistakes that you can make with this that are going to affect your gait and potentially even cause injury. So let's look at what those are and what you should do instead. Um, be sure to click more on the description below because I've got a free resource for you that will help you balance your form, begin to feel the key elements of healthy running form. Um, uh, uh, Especially relevant once you're carrying your water right. And so that's a free resource. Be sure to get that. And subscribe to my channel and hit like on this video so that YouTube knows to share it with other runners who need this information. So how can you carry water wrong when you run? The answer is in your hand. So anything you carry in your hand, a phone, for instance, a water bottle, even the kind that has the strap across so that you don't have to hold tightly with your fingers, uh, is going to change the way you move your arm, and your whole body is going to have to adjust around that. So your arm is a pendulum when you run. And when you change the weight of a pendulum, you change how fast it swings or how much energy it would take to keep it swinging at a certain rate in the case of running. And so you're going to have to use more force with your whole body to affect that. And of course, the farther to the end of any pendulum that you change the weight, the bigger the effect. So anything, I mean, honestly, to be even the weight of a sports watch, since these tend to be big and hunky and have a knowledgeable amount of weight, um, will make a difference. And in fact, I even once wrote a blog post recommending that if your gait is feeling out of kilter, something starts hurting, just switch your watch to the other wrist. And actually, very surprisingly, sometimes that makes the difference that you need. When it's not a major injury, but just some discomfort that has suddenly cropped up. So if your watch can make that much of a difference, then imagine the weight of a bottle, and then imagine the water sloshing around in the bottle. So this is a little bottle with ball bearings in it. I forget what they're called. Something David Weck makes, and the weight of the ball bearings that make the shaking sound really make your arm muscles work hard, and holding those when you run changes everything about how you run. If I ran with one of these in one hand, it would throw my whole body off. And that disorganization is going to carry through into your legs. So what you do with this arm, if you increase the weight of this arm, is going to have a knock-on effect, particularly in the diagonal leg. And then you could start seeing some pain or even an injury arise. So nothing in the hands when you run. And similarly, and this isn't water, but even for carrying a phone, sometimes people wear an upper arm strap, but I have never seen anyone swing their arm normally wearing an upper arm strap on a phone. The range of motion is much less, which then again really reduces the range of motion in the opposite leg. And then you've got a world of trouble if that's how you always run. So that's the worst mistake you can make, is holding it in your hand. Anything else that you do with your water that changes how you move your arms or any other part of your body in order to, work around the bottles is also going to cause a problem. So sometimes people have a pack with bottles here, or have a waist pack with a bottle kind of on the side, so that you end up having to swing your arms farther out in order to avoid the bottle, or farther in front of you, or just do anything at all different, is going to be a mistake. And if you're carrying water when you run, it's because you're going to be running for a longer amount of time. And so anything that throws your gait off times the amount of time that you're out there is going to have a big effect. So your best bet if you need to carry water is going to be a hydration pack. And that's a kind of a backpack that holds water, and it's got a tube on the front that you can just take and drink from. And so and this is the rule with anything that you need to carry, is the closer you can get it to your center of gravity, the better it is for you. So even, again, not carrying water, but carrying your keys or carrying a phone, you want that sort of thing in a waist pack. Sitting in your lower back is the best place for that. Water sitting in your lower back is, well, I don't even think they make such a thing. So the hydration backpack is going to be the best. There are a lot of models, and so you need to try models and ask people for advice. I'm not going to advise you on models here because this is always changing anyway. But you need one that's going to fit very well, that's going to have the minimum impact on your movement, especially your upper body movement and the ability of your rib cage to turn and your pelvis to counter rotate. And it's not going to have a lot of sloshing action, because imagine this, but attached to your back. So it needs to fit. It needs to fit really closely, again, without inhibiting your movement. So just try a bunch of different ones and ask friends for advice until you find one that's going to work for you. So that's what I've got for you today. Again, be sure to get the link to the Mind Your Running Challenge. Just click Show More on the description below and you'll find it. That's a free 1-week challenge that helps you feel and not just intellectually understand the basics of good coordination for running in a way that's going to immediately improve your performance. Thank you so much for watching. I see I've got a question here. So Estelle says, I do carry water in my long runs, but try and swap my hand holding it after each kilometer to try and balance it out. Yeah, that's helpful. That's like switching your, like I just said about switching your watch to the other wrist. Definitely, if you've got no other option, then you can switch your water bottle back and forth between hands. But it's still going to throw you off. And honestly, a weight at the end of the pendulum is going to increase your effort in running as well. So if you're able to get a hydration pack, that would be a much better choice. Or something else I didn't mention, but you can get waist packs that have several little bottles, and you can, as long as you can arrange them so that you don't have to change your arm movement to avoid bumping into them, that's another option for that. But it's really best not to hold your bottle in your hand. Yeah, Sandy runs with a hydration pack. Sandy, how do you like that? Does that work well for you? Let me see. I've never come across anyone running with like one of those beer hats, but I suppose that's an option. You want to put water in there. Good. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, Estelle and Sandy, for your questions. Sandy says, remember to tip them over to drain the air. That's great. So that probably cuts the sloshing down to a minimum as well, because you don't want that bouncing around in there. That's a great tip. Thank you. All right, so we'll finish here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again next week. Be sure to post your questions down in the comments, because I do look at those when I'm thinking about what to make a video on. Have a great week.